As we continue talking about how blockchain is used in supply chain management, I want to discuss the topic of tokenization because it's one of the key components that enables blockchain to work with supply chain management and actually tracking real assets in the world. So let's begin first with a very basic use of a token. And in this case, we're going to talk about a Bitcoin. A Bitcoin is a digital asset of value. And when you send that Bitcoin to someone else, what you're doing is transferring that digital asset of value to someone else. For instance, if I have a Bitcoin and I send that Bitcoin to someone else, I am transferring directly, peer-to-peer, that Bitcoin to someone else. I am basically giving ownership of that Bitcoin to someone else. This is very important because what Bitcoin enabled for the first time through the use of blockchain is to be able to create a unique asset of value and be able to assign ownership to it and transfer it to someone else. The key problem with digital assets is that if you take any data, you can actually make multiple copies of it. For instance, if I take a photo of something, I can take that photo and I can email it to someone else. Well, there's a problem. I'm not really sending the photo to someone else. I'm actually sending a copy of that photo. The original data for that photo is still in my computer, which is one of the problems how you saw that the music industry went through the entire disruption, because when people were able to convert a song into an MP3 and make multiple copies of that MP3, you could basically just give that music away to everybody else. That's impossible if you're dealing with money. So why Bitcoin is so valuable is that if I have a Bitcoin and I send that Bitcoin to someone else, it's very important I no longer have that Bitcoin. And one of the key ways that that's accomplished is through the use of blockchain and recording that transfer on a blockchain. Now, furthermore, that recording of that information on a blockchain is permanent and immutable. And that blockchain is copied and distributed across multiple computers all around the world. And the information is secured using cryptography. So let's do that transfer of a Bitcoin and talk about how you can apply this to a physical asset. For instance, a luxury watch that's making its way through a supply chain. So if I have a luxury watch and I am transferring that luxury watch to someone else, how do you keep track of it on the supply chain? Or for instance, a luxury handbag. How can you make sure that that luxury handbag is making its way through the supply chain? Or a luxury pair of glasses, or even a wine bottle. How are you able to do that transfer and track it on blockchain? Well, you can do that through the process of tokenization. And that is the process of representing an asset as a token that can be stored, recorded, and transferred on a blockchain. Let's go back to the example of the wine bottle. If I take that wine bottle and I want to track it as it makes its way through a supply chain, I can basically create a token and represent it as a digital token. And to that digital token, I can assign metadata for the item. That metadata will include the provenance of that wine. It will talk about any certifications that are assigned to that wine. Keep track of the history of the processes involved. How long was the fermentation process? How long did it take until it actually made it to the distributors? All that information can be captured and added to that digital token as metadata. Furthermore, you can take that digital token and assign it a unique identifying QR code. And by doing so, you can constantly keep track of where that asset is by following where that QR code is anywhere along the supply chain. We will explain this further in subsequent lessons.
I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something in the process. I bring you brand new videos every single week, so I invite you also to subscribe so we can stay in touch. Also, if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, we are changing the world, one blockchain at a time. I'm George Levy. Thank you for watching.